People of Earth that Sisters Love, welcome to a new episode. We're at Pauper 2024. We got a very special guest with us, Mr. GAVIN VERHEY. So welcome. Actually, we are welcome because this is something that it's more yours than ours, actually.
I think it's everybody's, right? It's just so cool to be here seeing all this Magic being played, and I work on it, but you make it the game that it is, so.
How's it going? First question, are you enjoying our country? And in particular, which is your gelato count?
So I always love coming to Italy, one of my favorite countries to visit, because the food is incredible. It's molto bene. It is amazing.
Molto bene.
So good.
Differentiation as well.
And there's so much to see. I mean, I've been to a lot of cities in Italy, but
yeah,
not even close to all of them. So I love exploring, love trying new foods, meeting new people, players, and just hanging out. So I've had a great time here, and I'm going to go up to Cinque Terre tomorrow before heading out to Amsterdam after that. So see a little bit more of the country too.
Okay, so you're going around a little bit.
A tiny bit before I go to MagicCon Amsterdam next weekend.
Yeah. Definitely. So go ahead, man.
We talk about you as a player, not only because we all know about your role as a game designer. However, we're not forgetting how great your player you were, and you are, because you had an amazing run yesterday, because you had a perfect score yesterday, 7-0.
Yeah, exactly like mine.
So which are your best accomplishments as a player, and how did you manage life both as a game designer and a player of the game?
Yeah, so I mean, I played professional Magic before coming to Wizards, and that's kind of how I got hired in. I never was at the top of the Pro Tour or anything like that, but I wrote and I was active on social media, and I talked a lot about the game, and that helped me get the job that I have now, which is making Magicthegathering, which I really enjoy. How do I make it, kind of straddle both? I love, working on Magic. It's great. And I love playing on Magic. And they're actually two pretty different things in a lot of ways. I mean, a lot of this, obviously the knowledge of Magic helps out, right? But when you're playing in internal playtesting, you're not thinking about how to win the game. You're like, should this cost one more mana? Should this cost less mana? Should it be additional power, additional toughness, or things like that? Where when I'm playing, at a tournament, I'm like, okay, heads down, how can I smash my opponent? So the mental set is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's like the opposite approach of a game, because you have to make it.
Yeah, you have to think about very different things, right? It's like, imagine if you could play in this tournament, and every game you played, you're like, oh, should we change that card for every single card, you know?
It's more a relaxed environment, I think. Yeah,
well, I'm pretty good at under pressure, right? So for me, it's I'll play a match of Magic. I'm not going to worry about the greater tournament. I'll play that one match and see how I feel afterward, So I think if you think of the whole thing, it's very exhausting. And if you just go one match at a time, it really helps.
Pauper is acknowledged as a format born from the community itself.
Yes.
So, which also grew so much over time. Yesterday on day one, we were more than 600 people, 638 if I'm not mistaken. So how does it feel to be one of the faces of a format unique like this?
Well, I mean, I've been playing Pauper for a very long time. Like, I love Pauper. I was playing it on Magic Online before Pauper even existed on Magic Online. So I'm a huge Pauper fan. Yeah, it was like original form. So I love the format, and to get to work on it now is a great honor. It's cool to come to this event, and we, me and the Pauper format panel talk all the time online about everything, every week, usually every day. And you don't see a lot of Pauper actually get played because it's all on Magic Online, right? Yeah. You see it, see it happening, but you don't see the people. So to be here and see 650 or so players all playing Pauper at the same time is incredible. It's a huge honor, and this is why we do what we do,
Yeah.
You told us about your work as a game designer, so you already answered some of our questions without even asking. So another thing that we wanted to ask you is about the creative process behind a mechanic of the game. I mean, how are they born? Like, how do you think about a mechanic, and how do you make it real on the cards? Like, how does it work?
Well, we could be here all day if we're going to talk about that.
Definitely.
But I'll kind of cover two main ways, okay? So the first main way is we're working on a set, we know what the creative is. So let's say we're going back to Theros, or we're going back to Ravnica, or whatever, right? If you know what the creative of the world is, that might inspire some new mechanics to try out. Okay, well, with Theros, we want to do like an enchantment theme, and we want gods, heroes, and monsters. So we invented Bestow, because that's like a cool way to have enchantments in your deck that are creatures, and it kind of works with the enhancement of your creature thing going on. So like, that's almost a top-down thing, right? With Innistrad, it was natural to bring Flashback back, because it was like, well, it just makes sense on Innistrad, for example,
I was so happy about it.
Yeah.
It's a great mechanic. Yeah. Another thing you can do, werewolves is a great example too, right? How do you make them show that they're transform? You literally have the card transform.
Sure.
The other way we do it is bottom up, where we have to figure out how to fix a problem in a set. Sometimes these are not the most flavorful, they just kind of work. So when you think of a mechanic like monstrosity in Theros or adapt in later Ravnica sets. Those are just mechanics that like they're not going to blow your mind, but you just need them for limited, right? It's important to like have a mechanic for limited, to have a mana sink so you can spend all your mana on something.
Fair mechanic, let's say.
Yeah, a very fair mechanic, right? So yeah, there's some things that are more infrastructural, some things that are like a little more fair. But that's two very quick examples. And then the ideas just come from, you know, you talk in a meeting for a long time and you brainstorm ideas, and then you for every mechanic that makes it, there's 10 or 20 that don't, right? We make a lot of mechanics that never even see the light of day because we try all them out and keep them.
And keep the best of them.
Exactly, right?
Of course.
And sometimes great mechanics don't end up making the set because they don't fit with everything else going on, right?
Yeah,
like,
okay, definitely.
Like, for example, if you have two mechanics you like, but they both are what we call mana sink mechanics, where you like kind of spend mana in the mid to late game. Your set doesn't really want two of those because you just don't really need a second one. So you have to kind of pick the one that's best for your set and then shelve the other one for later.
Okay, so you can reuse that mechanic for another set?
Exactly. I mean, I've got a whole library in my head of mechanics we've never used. So maybe someday you'll see. There's mechanics we talked about in my first week at Wizards 13 years ago that we still have not used. Whoa. So there are all kinds of cool mechanics.
Still to discover for us players, of
exactly.
course. And how challenging and rewarding at the same time can it be?
It's incredible. I mean, when I go to a Magic tournament, whether it's Paupergeddon, MagicCon, or local Friday Night Magic, I see players playing a game that I work on and I help create. I mean, it's so meaningful to me. And some of the biggest points for me come is, in the US, we have this foundation called the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Make-A-Wish,
Yeah, it's basically kids who have extremely rough diseases or things like that, get to make a wish to go do whatever they want, right?
Yeah.
So go see a sports player or go to Disneyland or whatever. And every year, a few of those kids come hang out with the Wizards design for the day. And they come in and they want to spend all day with me and the others, right? And to me, that is the most meaningful thing, to know that someone chose that as their wish. They could chose in anything, and they chose Magic. That is how much this game means to people, and I love it so much.
Wow, I don't have words to say. It's so amazing. So about the set that we were all waiting for, Modern Horizon 3.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the set of the year. Have you worked on a mechanic from the set, or in general, have you ever worked on Modern Horizon?
Yeah, so I mean, the thing about Modern Horizons is all the mechanics are for reprints from Magic history.
Yeah, reused mechanics.
So a lot of those old mechanics I did work on. Like I helped make mechanics like energy and things like that ended up being
my favorite one, actually.
There we go. And I was not responsible for the idea. I just helped, there's some play testing when actually, fun story. Energy was originally an idea for Shards of Alara. This is a great example. It was going to be Esper's mechanic in Shards of Alara.
Esper mechanics,
right?
Yeah.
And then it didn't work. And years later, Mark Rosewater helped bring it back in Kaladesh. So that should give you an idea of just how long you can hold a mechanic for sometimes,
like
right?
8 years.
For a really long time.
Yeah.
So it was meant to be Esper, but it's kind of red now, red, blue.
Well, at the time, the idea was for Esper, but we decided not to use it there. And then in Shards of Alara, right?
Sure.
And then when we brought it back, we kind of put it in red, green, blue.
Today is more a Timur thing.
Yeah, Timur.
More or less.
Yeah, just Sky, Timur things.
Yeah, I'm a Jeskai boy.
Yeah.
Jeskai Energy is fun. I love Jeskai Energy.
So fun. I tried it yesterday, but it wasn't enough. So we're all right.
Yeah.
We're so honored to have you here. So thank you for your time again, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you all for watching, and I'll just say before I go, Magic in Italy is incredible, so thank you all for playing, and I hope to see you at a future event, maybe MagicCon Italy someday. Who knows? Well, who knows? So we'll see. No promises, but I'd love for that to happen. It's an amazing place for Magic, so thank all of you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you so much.
So much.
No problem at all.
It's been incredible.
It has been. Thank you. I had a great time this week.